Good morning, everyone. It is March the 14th, and that means we are on Thursday and we are almost done with this week. Hallelujah. Good morning, Eris. Thank you for doing the mod things. Don't forget to change to live chat so you get all the chats. Good morning, Stacy Schmidt and Erin Olivia. And everyone, our first story is actually good. A couple and their 2-year-old daughter survived a small plane crash after deploying a parachute to ease the plane's fall. So there you go. Good morning, kitty cat lover. We have 5 cats because if you have 6 children and you tell one that they can get a cat, but we stopped at 5, which means we have some self-control and one didn't want a cat. So, thank goodness for small miracles. Good morning, free spirit and prepping news. I have not seen you here before, so welcome. I'm trying to get Friberto in the full picture, but he is being a pain in the booger butt. So now I'm trying to remember how to turn this thing because it's opposite. Oh, okay. Well, someone beats me. I have questions about everything. Good morning. And Zach, my resident corrector of my poor and terrible grammar and spelling. Thank you for joining us. So, a California couple and their 2-year-old child survived a plane crash after they deployed a parachute to slow the small aircraft's downward spiral into a wooded mountainous area, officials said. The husband and wife, both 38, and their young daughter escaped with just minor cuts and scratches on Friday after authorities found them at the crash site near the community of Whitehorn in the Golden State. The 2004 Sirius SR-22 reportedly took off from Shelter Cove Airport en route to Santa Rosa, where the family lives, when the airplane's engine quickly lost power, authorities said. Let's see here. Doot, doot. Quote, the pilot began to troubleshoot why the airplane's engine lost power, but noticed the airplane's altitude was far too low for recovery, a Mendocino County Sheriff's Office spokesperson said in a news release. Serberto, you moving around is kicking my behind today. You know I can't do directions. Directionality is beyond me, especially when my room is under construction. What are you trying to get into, dingus? You know what? He's like, "But I wanna be on camera with you." The pilot decided to use the plane's Sirius airframe parachute system to slow down the plane's downward trajectory. I can speak English-ish. The sheriff's office said the massive parachute carried the aircraft until it finally crashed into the trees in the heavily wooded terrain. It sounded like it was a last resort effort, the sheriff's police captain Quincy Cromer told the Press Democrat. Shelter Cove Fire Chief Nick Pappy bluntly told the news outlet, quote, chances of survival without the parachute were slim. He added the family of 3 were out of the plane by the time the slew of agencies reached the scene after 1 p.m. I mean, honest to goodness, that's the best idea I've ever heard. I had no idea they had, like parachutes on planes, but seems like a really good idea. Photographs taken by the police or fire department show the parachute over the plane, and then another with the chute caught in the trees with the plane destroyed. Shelter Cove officials noted this is the second small aircraft to crash in the area where all the occupants survived in the last 9 months. Wait, is America getting its own like Bermuda Triangle of the air? Asking for a friend because if Bigfoot is there, he is my running mate this year. Remember, if you are not pleased with either of the candidates, Mo for president, hand jobs for all. Uh, so the plane crashed into the ocean, but the 2 victims were able to get to shore with the help of rescuers, the fire department said. Good morning, not Snivels, and hello, Joe, or hey, Joe. Uh, yeah, I'm guessing little planes might have parachutes. And those of you that are new here, hand jobs don't mean what you think they do. I do have 6 children. I had 3 girls first and then 3 boys, and my oldest girl is getting ready to look at colleges. She's going to be a senior next year, so they're starting to hand out all college material, and my younger boys are like, "We have to go to school after high school," and I'm trying to tell them about jobs with which you can work with your hands. Now, that phrase got shortened down to hand jobs, and I only hear about this as we're going to their private school, so, yes, we had to explain that hand jobs and work with your hands are not the same thing. I have an entire video on it. I think it's titled, um, "I'm sorry, micro parenting fail." It's somewhere in there, but yeah, I give the entire story because, dear Lord, my youngest was sent to, convince me to not have any more children, I do believe. Uh, in things that my youngest would probably love, even a leopard strutting by can't get a boy 12 years old to look up from his phone, because of course it can't. A catastrophe averted, a 12-year-old Indian boy remained astonishingly calm when a leopard walked right by him into the same building where he was sitting, a video shows. Security footage from a wedding hall in Nashik, a city about 100 miles northeast of Mumbai, shows a boy and his father walk into an office, ABC News reported. The father exits the room, leaving his son on a bench playing with his phone right beside a door facing the street, video shows. Suddenly, a massive leopard casually slips in from the street and walks right by the boy, according to the clip. With clap like reflexes, the boy closely watches the leopard walk a safe distance past him, gets up, and closes the door behind him, trapping the animal in the office. Why would you trap the animal in the office with you? I, I mean, A for effort, D for dingus, but you are 12 and okay. Sorry, Mr. Mo's like, "Did you get coffee creamer?" And I'm like, "Yes, I got coffee creamer." The video then cuts to authorities with shields making their way through the door and dragging the leopard out. Because of course they did. In something that I think we should make illegal anyways, cheating spouses may soon be free from criminal prosecution in New York after more than a century. I'm pretty sure you'll get out on cashless bond, so I think you'll be okay. Oh, I know. I'd be like, "Can I take him home? I'll just call him Big Fluffy, Big Spot. It'll be fine. He'll love me." I've got 5 cats. Thor would be so mad because Thor would still think he's in charge. Thor would be like, "Oh, hell no. I'm still alpha." Uh, This New York Senate will decide the fate of a bill that, after 117 years, would decriminalize adultery in the Empire State. Assembly member Charles Levine, a Democrat, sponsored A 4714, which unanimously passed through the Codes Committee, then passed full assembly on Monday by a vote of 137 to 10. Them's a lot of cheaters and 10 faithful people. I'm just kidding. I have no idea how it's split, but those are my guesses. The text of the bill is only 2 lines long and mandates the immediate repeal of New York State penal law subsection, uh, 255.17, the law that's titled simply adultery, which makes it a Class B misdemeanor when a person quote, "engages in the smexy times with another person at a time when he is living with a spouse or the other person has a living spouse," end quote. The law has been on the books since 1907. In New York, Class B misdemeanors carry potential sentencing rangings from fines and community services to 90 days jail time. Levine said that it was, quote, "long past time," end quote, to remove the, quote unquote archaic statute from the state's penal code. The jokes write themselves. He added that the law, which, quote, criminalizes smexy behavior between consenting adults, end quote, is rarely enforced and argued, quote, if a law is not enforced, then there's no reason for it to be maintained, end quote. Okay, what's just which state is it that has that you cannot have an ice cream cone in your back pocket to lure horses? Because this is important. But I do like that this bill is only 2 sentences long. Could we start doing this? Could we do this? Good morning, Whiskey and Giraffe Girl. I didn't see you guys come in. And Squid Pro Quo and Hospice Jess. Yeah, this is the important thing, not the people not making sure that we, maybe deal with the criminal reform shenanigans that allow dismemberers to get out on, like, house arrest bracelets. No, this is important. You can tell how important it is because everyone in Congress is like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute. We can get in trouble for cheating? Oh, that is repealed." Since 1972, 13 people have been charged with adultery under New York statute, Levine's office said. 5 were convicted, most all cases in which the defendant committed other crimes in addition to adultery. The criminal adultery statute was controversial from its inception. Divorce attorney S.N. Tuckman argued in a 1907 letter to the editor published in the New York Times, just days before the statute would go into effect, that the law's purpose would have been better served by amending divorce laws not criminalizing adultery. In his letter, Tuckman explained the problematic interplay between adultery as a grounds for divorce and adultery as a crime in context. At the time, adultery was the only ground on which an quote unquote absolute divorce in the 1907 version of what today would be called a quote unquote uncontested divorce could be granted. The statute criminalizing adultery was intended to put an end to collusive divorces in which the party could work together to satisfy the necessity of proving grounds for a divorce, said Tuckman. By criminalizing the very conduct required to get a divorce, it discouraged parties from pleading that particular grounds as a basis for dissolution of their marriage. Indeed, there's a long legal history. Where is in the United States of favoring marriage and discouraging divorce. Today, however, collaborative divorce is generally viewed as a practical and efficient way to dissolve a marriage without without need for protracted litigation with both parties agree it's time to end their marriage. In a 2008 New York Times piece, noted New York divorce attorney Ral L. Geller. Oh, well, thank you, ball gagger 4000. Words I never thought I'd say out loud on the internet. Thank you for the 2 Australian dollars. Oh, well, that is mean. How dare you? I won't pull it up, but you can search on your own recognizance, and I need to get a different pen. Why do you have middle son's little person that you destroyed? Did you destroy middle son's little person? Frybert. Now I owe middle son a little person. Yes, I know. Fry, I am trying to write something. 1 second. All right, thank you. No. Hey, this is not a game. I'm doing news. This seems mean. Does that mean like in a day or in a month? Because I'm just saying. Or is it, like, between husband and wife or, like, if you get a kid out of it? I need to know all the parameters here to make sure. Look, Texas was the other state I was planning to maybe move on into, but, I'd have to pack all my stuff. Let's see here. Uh, Divorce attorney Raul L. Felder, who represented high-profile clients such as Rudy Giuliani, remarked that over his decades in practice, many angry divorce clients have demanded they refer his their spouse's infidelity for criminal prosecutions as a means of exerting their leverage in matrimonial litigation. At the time, Felder said, quote, adultery is the last symptom of the disease. It is not the disease. Adultery remains a viable, though unnecessary, ground for divorce in New York State. Parties are permitted to file for quote unquote no fault divorces or those that do not require parties to prove any particular reason for the breakdown of the marriage. A party who still chooses to file for a divorce on basis of adultery must undertake to prove that the adultery occurred either by consent of the other spouse or by other clear and convincing evidence. The bill next moves to the New York State Senate for consideration. The 10 assembly members who oppose the bill include 2 Democrats and 8 Republicans. Let's see here. So, if I am not on tonight, these storms are supposed to be moving through. Let me check my weather stuff because this stuff is supposed to be moving through fairly near evening time tonight. So, gorilla hail does not sound as fun as it looks, but a storm carrying massive gorilla hail hits parts of Kansas and Missouri. Massive chunks of hail pelted parts of Kansas and Missouri on Wednesday night, bringing traffic to a standstill along Interstate 70 as storms unleashed possible tornadoes and meteorologists encouraged residents to stay indoors. I I hope God, why would you make your password that? And then I realized I would make my portal all sorts of names. So, can't say. There were 3 unconfirmed reports of tornadoes in Wan Wabanasi and Shawnee counties, with reports of damaged structures, but no reports of injuries or homes damaged, according to meteorologist Matt Wallers with the National Weather Service Topeka's office or Services Topeka office. Survey teams plan to head out Thursday to evaluate the damage, he said. There were reports of 4-inch or 10-centimeter hail and nearly softball size hail in the town of Wabanasi. Look, I am not from the city or state of Missouri or Kansas. I do not know these names. I am making stuff up. In Gary County, thank you, John. Let me write this down and I will hang these up when I am done because I cannot multitask. And I hope you are feeling okay and having a good day. And I need to get more tags. Gotta put that on my list. As per Megan and every other YouTuber, my ADHD is strong, so thank you again, Baldu Gragger 4000. I love it when my mom's like, "So what do you do all day?" I'm gonna tell her proudly, I take donations from people like Baldu Gagger 4000 'cause, she's mildly horrified. Good morning, Barb or Deborah Kennedy. I you know what, Sal, you showed me, I think you brought it up on your channel once, we might have been doing, daddy dom stuff, but, I did not look hard enough, phrasing I know, to figure out how it worked because I'm enjoying the mystery of not knowing, and this is a very new computer to me. I think it's about 11 months old, and I really don't wanna give it gonorrhea herpesiphilitis. 'Cause I don't know anything about computers, and I'm pretty sure if I tell Mr. Mo, "Look, I looked up a Baldo, and now my computer has the HIV," I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna be in trouble. It's gonna be like, "What were you looking up?" And I'll be like, let me just show you." And if you saw on Twitter and asked, "What the hell is mewing?" I am here to be your guide in all the viral trends. Because I have no idea either, and as a Gen Zennial or a Gen Lennial, a term I coined myself because I don't claim millennial and I find my soul to be a Gen Xer, in spirit, annoyed and confused about the current situation of the world. I have decided to lead you on a safari of what the hell is going on in current trends. Baldo Gagger 4,000, you know what? Maybe next leap year, I will tag you in to know it'll be a great stream. Next February 29th, I will pencil you in. Fry, you and Loki need to leave each other alone. Why can't you play nice? Thank you for the offer. Uh, quote, "What mewing is a viral trend among students, and this 36-year-old teacher explained why it is, quote, smug and rude. Internet trends can be fun and bring people together, like making fun of people who eat Tide Pods and plank, and then mass horror at people who lick ice cream and put it back to get, in there. But what the heck? But they belong in the classroom? Recently, Teresa Newman, a middle and high school teacher, took to TikTok. Well, you're taking to TikTok to bitch about viral trends. Do you not see the hypocrisy and or the irony here? Fry, do not eat lip glosses. To explain the latest and seemingly disrespectful viral trend she's noticing her students doing, mewing. Now, if this has nothing to do with Super Troopers, I'm gonna be very pissed off. In TikTok in the TikTok, which has been viewed over 6.5 million times and has over 10,000 comments, the 36-year-old teacher from Texas starts the video by exasperatingly declaring, quote, "I think this mewing trend with students is probably going to be the final reason I decide to never return to the classroom to teach ever again." But what exactly is mewing? Well, before it was a trend adopted by older Gen Ayers, those born around 2010, and younger Gen Zers, late 2000s babies, it was a viral do-it-yourself technique that allegedly helps with face shape. Named after an orthodontist, Michael Mew, mewing involves positioning your tongue in a resting position at the roof of your mouth, which over time supposedly creates a sharper jawline. So wait, this has nothing to do with Super Troopers? It's not like, "Can you help me write meow, teacher? I'm gonna need you to hand that to me right meow." Th this is really Gen A, Gen Zers, you could do better. Come on, Super Troopers was hilarious. This is ridiculous. Although there isn't enough evidence to support that mewing can drastically define your I'm confused. Look, I am what we like to call retaining Mike and Ike's and a couple little Debbies from emotional eating. So maybe I don't have the most defined jawline to begin with, so I don't notice any noticeable difference. when I put my tongue on the top of my mouth, but, yeah, what how can you tell? I mean, maybe when you're younger and you have a jawline, you can tell, but I don't know. Let's see here. There's not enough evidence to support that mewing can drastically define your jawline. That certainly hasn't stopped younger folks from turning to the technique into a social trend. On TikTok, the terms mewing and mew have over 600,000 posts affiliated with them. According to Teresa, though, mewing has evolved from a shaping trend to a nonverbal, dismissive gesture. The action consists of a shushing motion followed by pointing to your jawline, tracing the outline of it. Oh, okay. Well, oh, okay. I can see if they do that, I would be pissed off too. Mewing is a gesture that kids are making toward other people that signals to the person they don't care what they have to say or they're too busy being silent doing the mewing technique to respond to them, Teresa explains in their video. It's basically just another way to be dismissive of someone. Okay, hey, come here, babies. Come here, Gen A and Gen Zers. Come here, babies. Come over to Auntie Mo. Come on, get closer. Y'all, we have figured out a very simple and one-fingered expression to tell people that we are too busy and ignoring them. And it can be subtle or overt. See, you can do even funnily like this, Jack in the Box. You can be scratching your hair or your nose. I mean, we have already figured out a way to be subtle or and dismissive, and we have the eye roll. I mean, we didn't y'all didn't need to figure out stuff. We have a toolbox of dismissive already. For y'all are just trying to reinvent the wheel. We've already got the greatest, one-fingered salute there ever was. Essentially, when a teacher is asking a question to a student or trying to tell them something, the kid will mew at them to indicate they're unavailable. Oh, for the love of God, I just dropped something on my thing and missed my place. Unavailable to listen or communicate because they are mewing, to which I say you have one mouth and two ears, and mewing doesn't affect your ears. Although the mewing gesture isn't inherently harmful, Teresa says students have been mewing to be disrespectful toward teachers without teachers even realizing it. The gesture doesn't really signify anything specific unless you know exactly what it means and why the kids are doing it, she says in her TikTok. Yes, the one finger glass push up the nose. I mean, look, every generation has had little secret hand signals or ways that we tell teachers to, we are not paying attention. This is just this generation's really, really dumb way of doing it. We all had it. Get over yourself, ma'am. It's just how things are. Because of that, students who see other students mew in the classroom are giving encouraging reactions, prodding them to continue to make the gesture. Though some people may view this behavior as just kids being kids, Teresa, who's been an educator for 13 years, said the kids are completely aware of what disruptive behavior looks like. In her TikTok, she addresses this by explaining it's so easy for kids to look at criticisms of this gesture and this trend and go, "Why are you doing all of this? Why are you so mad? It's just a joke, it's just a meme." But in reality, Teresa continues, they absolutely understand how dismissive and disrespectful it is of the person that is trying to engage with them, especially in a learning environment. Y'all, we had talk to the hand, we had, whatever, we had, loser. I mean, every generation has that. Oh my gosh, ma'am, get the hell over yourself. Every single okay, this is a teacher whining because she has lost. This is ridiculous. I thought this was gonna be something from super troopers, and we were gonna be having kids, uh, say, "I need this right meow," which was gonna be hilarious, but no. No, it didn't. In scary news, a student was found not breathing for 23 minutes and had ghastly injuries, including nails ripped off, and no one knows what happened. Now, generally, I don't put out stories until we have some kind of more, information. But since this is a pretty big mystery, I figured we'd put it out. A Kentucky college student found unresponsive in her dorm room with deep lacerations and bruising was not breathing for 23 minutes, and her parents are demanding answers to the now months long investigation into what happened. Isabella Willingham, 21, a student at Ashbury University, was rushed to the hospital on November 27th and placed in intensive care due to the severity of her injuries, according to LEX 18. Willingham's parents, who had not heard from her for hours after she returned to campus after Thanksgiving, received a worrying phone call from her dorm resident director. At 11 that night, we get a call from the resident director of her dorm, and she tells us that Bella is in an ambulance on the way to the emergency room. She had been found unresponsive on the floor of her room by her roommate, her father, Andy Willingham, told the outlet. Paramedics then told her parents that her daughter had stopped breathing for 23 minutes. But her injuries also raised agonizing concern. Willingham suffered deep gashes and swollen legs, photos obtained by the outlet show. The young university students also noticed her acrylic nails had been ripped off when she woke up in the hospital. She spent 2 weeks recovering at the University of Kentucky Hospital. Dear God. And it's been months and no one has figured anything out. The Yosemite County Sheriff's Office confirmed and documented Willingham's multiple injuries and launched an investigation to determine what happened to the student. Now, what's taken so long? Back in the dark ages when I first flunked out of college, if you were in the dorms, they had cameras out the yang. I mean, now I don't know who they pay to watch the cameras because holy fazoli's, I'm sure that is like days of our life shenanigans with all the crazy stuff people do all the time in college dorms. But it is amazing that they don't have any footage of who went into her dorm room, who went out of their dorm room, and they've got her restrained, which I'm guessing if she was in a coma, they didn't want her, moving around. But it doesn't seem like there would be absolutely no information. There is no way that okay. However, her father took umbrage with the local police department and university. He told LEX 18 that cops allegedly said his daughter's injuries were likely from her falling out of her bunk bed, a claim he pushed back on. Quote, "There's no way these could have been caused by anything other than someone doing something to her," he told the station. Yeah, I agree. Those don't look self inflicted to me. Andy Willingham also said that the university was not taking what happened to his daughter seriously and waited over a week to notify other students that there could be a potential threat on campus. Quote, "As a parent, I want to know if there's a possibility of someone coming into the school or campus being potentially dangerous," the concerned father told the outlet. Ashbury University stated that it's aware of what happened to Willingham, but told other students it did not believe that there was a threat on campus, according to Andy Willingham. The father noted that the university hadn't asked anyone to come forward with information about what happened to his daughter and claimed an email probing for tips was sent to girls in his daughter's dorm, but not the entire student body. Now, months removed from the terrifying ordeal, the Willingham family is still searching for answers. Quote, "I contacted them and said this is not okay. You have to give a detail so someone knows." Are you something. So they'll come forward. The school's response to me was that if we felt like they felt like they had done everything they could, he told the outlet. The father, who's an alumni of the school, noted Ashbury University had, quote, never been anything but good, and they're still good as far as the institution goes before the incident. A spokesperson for Ashbury University released a statement to LEX 18 saying investigation is quote unquote ongoing and the school is working with law enforcement to determine what happened to Willingham. Quote, we are unable to provide any updates or specific information at this time. Ashbury's priority remains the safety and well being of our cash cows, I mean, our students, faculty, and staff. Hello, Valehammer Media. Faculty and staff, I added cash cows. The university then requested all, quote, additional inquiries, end quote, be forwarded to the county sheriff's office. Ashbury University is a small school with around 1,900 students, and about 90% of its undergraduates live on campus, according to the institution's website. Yeah, no, they did not look. You are being charged gajillions of dollars and going into debt so that your child can be you can be told that your child fell out of a bunk bed. It's time to start going to independent media and getting people to start looking into this. If you want my general advice, which I don't give out, and I am, full disclosure, a hot mess express your dadliness, I would start turning to, maybe private investigators, something else. This looks all the shady to me. I will keep this story up and I will, try to send it to Megan, but I know she already has her plate really full with all of the things, so I will keep it on my doodaddy. I will copy a link and send it to myself, and I will try to remember to tell her. In I guess someone was just having a case of the Mondays. An off-duty Connecticut cop punches a driver in traffic for honking at him at a red light. Quote, "What are you doing?" End quote. Yeah, I'll definitely tag her and put it in. My leg is doing okay. As we are having storm fronts move through, I finally have a superpower. My leg can tell the weather. Um, I always hoped that my superpower would either be, becoming a heart, like, cover band leader, without any practice. So, that did not happen. I now have a leg that tells the weather. I also didn't get abs without working out. Still waiting for my mutant X factor to kick in at some point. Maybe I'm hoping to not get Rogue, but if I get Storm, I'll be super happy, or Jean Grey. Thank you, Squid Pro Quo. Awesome, that would be great. And a nice rack, because let me tell you, after 6 kids, it can be a hat rack. I need one, I've got all the wigs. I need a wig rack. Shocking video shows an off-duty Connecticut cop punching a driver after he threatened to ticket him because the man honked at him for not turning at a red light. Dashcam footage from Thomas Braculio's company van caught Meriden Police Department Corporal Alan Ganters stopped at a red light in Rocky Hill in December, NBC Connecticut reported. Bragulio, 37, whose dog was riding shotgun with him, pulled up behind the off duty officer, waiting for him to make the right turn on red. "What are you doing?" Bragulio asked the driver in front of him inside his car while he honks the horn. Ganter, 57, then exits his Toyota Tacoma wearing gym shorts and a zip up hoodie. Oh, there was some choices made there. Waving his badge as he approaches Bragulio's vehicle. You can't take a right on red here, you a-hole, the 20-year veteran of the Meridian Police Department shouts. Bergoglio points out a sign that says, "Stop here on red," and "No turn on red," before accusing Gayntor of being on his phone and not paying attention to traffic. "I saw you looking down everything else," Bergoglio says. "No, I was moving something in my bag," Gayntor responds. The back and forth between the men begins to heat up. Gayntor threatens to write the man a ticket and call his supervisor for merely honking. Bergoglio then asks the off duty cop for his badge number. Gayntor is seen reaching into Bergoglio's car and punching him in the side of the face. Video obtained by the outlet shows. "You're going to get arrested for assaulting a civilian," Bergoglio shouts at him as Gayntor retreats uh, to his truck. Gayntor drives off. Was it still red, though? Uh, and Bergoglio calls 911 to report the on-camera assault. For the love of all that is holy. Bergoglio told the officers he was left dazed by the punch and possibly concussed, an arrest warrant obtained by the outlet shows. Photos taken by the responding officers with Rocky Hill Police Department show swelling and redness on his left cheek. Later, police approached Gayntor at his home for a statement. Body cam footage obtained by the outlet shows. Uh, "So he's saying I hit him?" Gayntor asked the officer, "and there's nothing I can press for breach of peace for him yelling at me?" Gayntor then admitted he punched Bergoglio while making his statement. "My fault, I'm wrong, I shouldn't have," Gayntor said. Officers also documented his hand with a red mark on his right index finger. Meridian Police launched an internal affairs investigation into the assault and found the off-duty cop broke the department's rules of conduct. Gayntor, who works as a school resource officer for the Thomas Edison Middle School in Meridian, was charged with breach of peace and third-degree assault. Gayntor was removed from his assignment as a school resource officer as the result of discipline, which was rendered as part of the internal affairs investigation. Corporal Gayntor was permanently removed from his assignment as a school resource officer, Meridian Police reported in a statement to Fox 61. And thank you, Jude, for being a member for 3 months. He was also suspended for 5 days without pay and will have to have to attend de-escalation training for the next 3 years. Well, in that special. In what the actual hell was he thinking? And if you look at both of these set of eyeballs, absolutely nothing. A man plots to feed ex's daughter to a large python and scalp her mother before blowing up her house when the relationship went south. And what do we do with these people? We have a lovely one-way ticket to Snake Island. Both of you two contestants will be participants in our very own Hunger Games there, you two freaking dingoes. Thank you so much, Veilhammer, for being a member for 4 months. This is awesome sauce. You guys are awesome sauce. These 2 are the boils on the butt of humanity that need to be lanced. 2 men in Georgia. You are almost right, Tim. Georgia. Are facing a spate of federal felony charges for allegedly blowing up a woman's home last year and also plotting to scalp the victim and feed her young daughter to a live python. It it just for all of the love of holy, what level of hillbilly, hillchuck, like, no, none of this was gon Stephen Glossier or Glosser or Glossier, um, 37, and Caleb Kinsey, 34, were indicted on charges of stalking, using an explosive to commit another felony offense, conspiracy to use an explosive to commit another felony, or to commit a felony, possession of an unregistered destructive device, authorities announced. Kinsey is also charged with making false statements during a purchase of a firearm while being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. According to a news release from U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Georgia, the men were indicted by a federal grand jury earlier this month. Authorities state a criminal complaint that the duo conspired to, quote, kill, harass, and intimidate or injure the victim and her child. The complaint alleges that from December 2022 to January 2023, Glosser and Kinsey used electronic communications to place the victim under surveillance and used a destructive device during that conduct. Prosecutors said the men used cell phones to plot the victim's demise through a myriad of sadistic methods. Quote, this included plans to acquire and shoot arrows into the victim's front door, acquire and release a large python into the victim's home to eat the victim's daughter, acquire and mail dog feces to the victim's home, acquire and mail dead rats to the victim's home, to scalp the victim, and to blow up the victim's home. Just how many Lifetime movies did y'all watch? And no, no, this is unhinged. There is a reason uh, there is a reason she left, and no, the complaint states. Glosser and Kinsey were ultimately successful in blowing up the victim's home, authorities allege. What, y'all couldn't find dog poo? Y'all managed to come up with a, go boom device, but y'all couldn't find dog poo. I'm not even I'm not even gonna ask why it was that you couldn't find dog poo. I mean, I have no doubt no one would ship it, but okay. The victim and her daughter were both home at the time of the explosion, but were able to escape unscathed. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, ma'am. First of all, you know, big old kudos for you for getting away from this s insanely ridiculous man, for getting your daughter away from him. Look, as a person who got away from a not so nice person, I know how incredibly scary that is. So kudos for you for getting away from this guy. I know that, he didn't leave you alone, but taking that step is so amazingly difficult. So, kudos for you for doing that. And I'm so glad that you are not hurt. I mean, I know he put you through hell, so I hope you are getting all the therapy and all the help you need, to try to mitigate the effects of all of that trauma. But good night, nurse. I am so glad that they were safe. The complaint states that Glosser located the victim's home address via an internet search based on an image of the house that she had previously shared with him. He then used his cell phone to get directions to the house. Meanwhile, Kinsey allegedly purchased Tannerite, a brand of binary explosive shooting target designed to blow up when struck by a high velocity freedom seed and used mostly for long range target practice. The duo allegedly used the binary explosive material from targets as well as other things that make a go boom device. In the early morning hours of January 13th, 2023, Glosser and Kinsey allegedly went to the victim's house on uh, Dremery's Lake Court in Richmond Hill, Georgia, where they constructed the device and used it to, quote, blow up the victim's home, end quote. During a preliminary court appearance last year, an ATF investigator said that Glosser and the victim had initially met through an online dating app, but the quasi relationship did not last long and they ended up blocking each other. Savannah CBS affiliate WTOC reported. That's when Kinsey, Glosser's friend and roommate at the time, got involved in the situation and allegedly helped Glosser plan to get revenge on the victim. Quote, he and his roommate and friend, Caleb Kinsey, there was a text message from him to the victim and eventually an internet source that we identified as a potential internet source that the number came back to that made comments asking if she wanted to not live, that demons will unalive her, end quote. The ATF agent reportedly testified. Now, I am not sure that I feel any allegiance or truthiness about ATF agents after Ruby Ridge and Waco, but I also don't believe in Glosser or Kinsey. So I guess on balance, no dogs were hurt in this situation. So I will believe the ATF just this one again. The agent also said they obtained photographic evidence implicating the two men in the go booming and said a witness saw a black SUV later linked to Kinsey speeding away from the area immediately after the explosion. The photographic evidence was reportedly obtained after the men's cell phones were seized and searched. Quote, they were both posing with tannerite and tannerite hats on. We do not film our crimes. We do not Insta our crimes. We do not snap photos of our crimes. We don't text our crimes. Dear Lord. Like, yeah, we're just gonna put tannerite hats on and hug right next to our for the love of all that is Cheetos. The ATF agent reportedly said, "We also have evidence of 80 pounds of tannerite being ordered and delivered to the residence." Both men are in detention without bond. I hope you 2 are stuck together for a long time. The bromance of the century. Um, our final story has a happy ending, but seems like something that would only happen to me and this chick. A frantic cat owner discovers her pet trapped behind apartment's drywall in a shocking video. She went hairballs to the wall. A Pennsylvania woman said she was forced to rescue her pet cat after maintenance workers allegedly sealed the poor cat inside her wall during a repair job gone awry. Sunday's footage of her harrowing Paul Shank redemption. Okay, New York Post, I'm going to give you this one because that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Esque moments boasted more than 2.5 million views on TikTok. I really cannot believe the maintenance team patched my cat into the freaking wall. The TikToker who goes by Jay on the platform wrote in the caption of her catastrophic clip. Okay, that's enough, New York Post. I gave you one because Paw Shank Redemption is good. Jay, who lives in King of Prussia, realized something was amiss when she walked into her apartment and heard the cat meowing and scratching at the wall. I feel so bad. He was probably so scared, wrote Jay, who subsequently dialed the maintenance emergency line for help. The awkward moment when you realize your complex's maintenance team patched your cat into the effing wall. Well, it happens. When they couldn't be reached, she dialed 911. The operator reportedly advised her to kick a hole in the wall. You couldn't figure that one out yourself? Why did you had to call 911 for that? We are not teaching critical thought at all. At all. In the 90-second clip, the entrapped kitty can be heard mewing pitifully. Oh no, they were mewing. That's disrespectful. Then all of a sudden, the cat pokes its paw through a gap in the plaster, prompting Jay to try to chisel him out with a knife. "Hold on, wait, let me make it bigger," the Catwoman cries while desperately chipping away. Then, heeding the 911 operator's advice, Jay attempts to kick the wall, but to no avail. "It was, quote, hard as rock," she lamented. Finally, after nearly a minute of scraping, the gap becomes wide enough for the kitty to squeeze through and escape its plaster prison. I was so relieved after I got him out, the grateful pet owner wrote in the caption. Oh my God, y'all, I was bawling my eyes out. That's not how you spell bawling, ma'am. That's bawling. Never mind. My my cats are my babies. Thankfully, the kitten appeared to be feline fine after being trapped. The Post reached out to Jay and representatives for the apartment complex for comment. In a subsequent clip, Jay can be heard asking a man she identified as the property manager to speak with the painters about the incident. You disrespected me by patching my cat into a wall, she said. TikTok viewers, meanwhile, were horrified over the predicament, with one commiserator writing, quote, "They straight up put the cat in the wall. Him reaching his paw out for help, poor baby," said another. Some skeptics felt as if the maintenance staff walled him off on purpose. That is so mean and sad. There is no way they didn't know, declared one viewer. Girl, they owe you money, all caps, said a third one, to which Jay replied, "Yes, like my cat deserves to be in Hawaii on a beach after all this." Apparently, Jay is not the only one whose pet has been under house arrest. "This happened to me," all caps, emphasized one commenter. "An HVAC company trapped my cat in the wall, and when my husband told them and asked them for help, they told us to get a new cat. I lost it." Yeah, she's probably gonna get charged because they're gonna have to sheetrock that. They're gonna be like, we're gonna need you to pay for a new thing of drywall." I have no idea. Any hoozle, that is the morning newsy news. I have you going over to Baker. He is doing a pro se case, so all the awesome. I do not know if they have a gold fringed flag, so it will be all of the, um super newsy, all the super crazy, I am sure. I don't even know what the case is about. So, I am sure he will just explain that and be awesome as he always is. I am going to be looking for all the new filings, just like 5 new filings that just came out in the Delphi case, because that is just the case that never sleeps. And then I'll probably be listening to Baker's case. So have a lovely day. Say something kind to yourself, say something kind to others. As an introvert, it's kind of hard to people. That is my super secret trick that I learned from my aunt. Just try to compliment someone every time you go out. uh, it's a easy way to people, and, you see their faces light up if you're like, "I just love your shirt," or "That is so funny," or "You have super nice shoes," or "I like your hair." It might be the it might be the first nice thing that someone's heard in a long time, and you know what? It's been a tough couple years. We need nice things in our lives. We just can't have nice things. I mean, mewing isn't even about Super Troopers, if you can believe it. So, say something nice to yourself, say something nice to others. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will see you tonight, unless the storms with gorilla hail are here, because I live out in the boondocks, and the internet does not like storms or breeze or squirrels. Bye, guys.